Hello, everybody, and welcome to some more Riding with Red and VFR. Why don't we have a little bit of a discussion today? Why don't we talk, or I should ask you, what is your dream bike? If you ask me, apparently, as you well aware if you follow my channel, my dream bike is exactly the bike I'm sitting on. That's Honda VFR 800. Of course, I wouldn't mind having another VFR with the 750 cc, which is an older bike, and of course it's the one that's not a VTEC. But at the same time, VFR is a VFR. So this is my dream bike. However, I must admit, there is another bike that I wouldn't mind to try. And I don't want to appear before you as a Honda fan only. But the other bike I wouldn't mind to try is a Honda. Specifically, it's Honda Magna, or Super Magna, I think it's called. If you ask me why is it different, why is it so special, why would I want to try that one specifically? Well, the reason is somewhat simple and at the same time it's quite unique. It's the engine. If I'm not mistaken, it has this. Okay, I'm gonna start from the beginning. So this is a cruiser bike, just typical, normal, regular, whatever you call it, just normal cruiser bike. If I'm not mistaken, it has 4 cylinders. A cruiser bike with 4 cylinders is quite rare, but this is I think it's a V4 as well. This is a V4 engine, so which makes it the bike unique. Usually cruisers come with two cylinders. Usually they are V twins, so 2 cylinders, V shape. This one is V4, and I think it's 90-degree V. I'm not as knowledgeable about this bike as I would want it, but that's the bike I really want to try. So when you look at the bike or at the tachometer, you really see the difference that sets this bike apart from any other cruiser bike. So it has the tachometer, but at the same time the tachometer, the red line I think is on 10,000 RPM. If not, I'm not mistaken, but I could be. So that's insane. These are, if you are not very familiar with bikes, these are very high RPMs for a cruiser bike. So I'm quite curious to ride it, because it probably would sound like a sport bike, but at the same time the position of the rider, or the sitting position of the rider, is very different from the sport bike. It's a cruiser bike, so you sit quite low, but you still hear that quite revvy sound. So those bikes, if you don't know them, those bikes, if I'm not mistaken, they're not produced anymore. I've seen 2 generations of those. They look interesting, especially the back wheel and 2 tailpipes. So yeah, it's quite interesting experience, I would say. Especially, I wouldn't mind to have one and to modify it somewhat so that the front end is really looking like a cruiser, because it's not really a cruiser type of thing. It's very classy. I think the headlight on the first generation Magna was a square. It's not round, it's a square. I honestly don't really like square headlights unless they're LED or something. So let me ask you, if you don't have a dream bike, if you own a bike, is it your dream bike? Or you have a dream bike but it costs way too much and you really don't want to spend too much on a bike, or you don't have just necessarily the funds to buy that? Or are you lucky as me to ride your dream bike? If you don't have a dream bike, tell me what bike you like, why you like it, have you ridden it? There are so many bikes, honestly. They come in so many shapes, sizes, colors. So, honestly speaking, you should have one. Or you should have the bike that you dream about if you were to own this bike. Maybe in the future I will be able to buy myself a VFR 750. Fourth generation. This is the generation I specifically like. This is the last non-V4, or not, what am I saying? They're all V4s, but this is the last generation of non-VTEC engines. I did ride it. I may put up the video how I ride it, but there was no sound, so there was no me talking. Maybe it's even for the better. Who knows? But yeah, this is the bike I would own, and the Magna, of course, if I were to choose the cruiser bike. So let me know, what is your dream bike? I'm just curious to hear people's opinions. And if you follow my channel, this is the first time I'm in a jacket. Yes, I do own a jacket. Today is somewhat chilly outside. I think it's in 70s, low 70s. Maybe it's even 70 at the highest. But, you know, when you're at speed, that 70 turns it into probably like 62, 64. So it's somewhat chilly to ride for a long period of time. So, plus I probably will ride till the dusk. So we'll see. Just a little bit more safety to me, as far as the safety goes. So yeah, that's my jacket. If you look at it, if you know the bikes and you follow the trend and everything else and the brands, you can. If you probably notice, if you don't, this jacket it's called the Joe Rocket. I think that's the brand. And if I'm not mistaken, again, it's somewhat related to Honda, if not very much related to it. I've seen those two names together on some jackets, pants, gloves, motorcycle gloves. So, but yeah, that should do it. And as always, safe trips, safe rides. Pick up your dream bike, ride it with pleasure. And I guess we'll see you guys in the next episode. Take it easy, guys, and goodbye.